What's up, guys? Good day, good day. Welcome. Welcome to another episode of the Natural Human Diet live stream. Starring myself and you guys. So today we have raw grass-fed beef, fresh, never frozen. We have raw brain, fresh, never frozen. One of these is actually still warm because it was just slaughtered about an hour ago. Then I got some raw eyeballs too. Then I got an orange, little piece of fruit because I'm a savage and I eat fruit. So yeah, thanks for showing up, guys. Let's get some tunes going here. Let me know if the mic sounds good, and let me know if the music is too loud or something. What's up, Tricks Do? Brian, what's going on, man? Goldie Gildy Girl, morning. Andy, what's going on, buddy? Sithunet Sith, hello. Kai Solace, what's up? Said you didn't get a notification for the stream even though I have them on YouTube shadow banning again. Oh yeah, they've had me shadow banned for years. That's why I went to Instagram, man, because I just kind of got a little sour taste in my mouth from working with these guys. But I've since gotten over that, and I just realized it's the nature of the beast, man. It is the nature of the game, so I will continue fighting and streaming. Greetings to France. Do I eat raw fish? Yes, I do. I do swordfish every once in a while. Mostly a beef guy with a little bit of chicken, but I'll do some fish every once in a while. Thanks, man. Glad you appreciate the classical music. I think it's the best music in the world, dude. And it's like, obviously the best music you could listen to while eating raw meat. It's fancy. People think this diet's disgusting. This is actually fancy. They don't even know it. Raw liver with brats and kraut. Sounds good. Food Fasting Faith. Hey, Wes, do you know if Amos Miller is still selling meat? I don't know, man. Everything's so back and forth. As far as I know, they had like a newsletter come out, and it said that they were able to release their supply that they had held back or something. But I don't know if they can continue in the future selling. I'm not really sure how it's a big legal battle going on, man. What's up, Nero? Says, what's up? Did you check out the Looks Maximus channel? I sent you the email. Did you check it out? Yeah, I did, man. I was at work. I didn't have time to look at his videos, though. Looks like an interesting dude, though. That was a big old hunk of meat there, man. I chew on that for a minute. Victoria says, I just started raw milk and I get diarrhea and sneeze a lot. Do you know why? I've heard of people having that reaction to raw milk. I have a friend on Instagram right now that he every time he eats raw milk, he gets like a sinus congestion really bad. And so I recommend like starting with like really small amounts and see if you can like build up a tolerance to it. Like it could be detox, and you got to kind of try to push through it by starting with really little amounts at a time. I've heard that this does work for people. So start with like literally like an ounce of milk and just see how that does. And then the next day, maybe try another ounce, and then maybe try 2 ounces, and just kind of work your way up from there. But you kind of have to, some people have to introduce it to their system slowly to try to avoid those heavy detox symptoms you got going on. Greek Christian says, do you eat raw honey? Yes, I do. I've been mixing it into raw lemonade lately because it's summertime, so lemonade goes really well with hot weather. So I do a lot of raw honey in there. And when I drink raw milk, which is like off and on, I'll mix honey in with it and do like milk and honey at night. Yeah, terrain theory is pretty interesting, man. Makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Gavin O'Malley says, do you genuinely enjoy the taste of raw meat? I get that question a lot, dude. And you get to the point to where it's not really about enjoying the taste and the flavors anymore. You get to the point to where it's really just about energy. Because food is literally here just to provide us energy and also repair the body, right? It's just like a basic bodily function. So when you get down to like what I believe is our fundamental human diet, which is raw meats and organs, at first it's a severe adjustment because you're so used to all these intense flavors and seasonings and sugars and salts and all these things that just explode your senses and trigger your dopamine and all this stuff. Once you get past that, food becomes like a totally different thing. This is just like a basic bodily function of mine. I'm very like grateful that I'm able to do it, and I consider it like sacred. Eating raw meat, I do consider it sacred, man, because it's a very special thing to be able to do, and it's very interesting if you think about it, what we're doing here, eating animals to provide energy. But that's all it is, man. We've been kind of trained to look at food as like almost like a drug, and people eat food like drugs. I mean, there's so many examples of it out there, man. Look at the obesity epidemic and all this stuff going on. Chronic diseases and things with people because they just can't stop eating because it's become like a drug addiction. So, to answer your question, man, I don't necessarily like the flavor of raw meat, but I don't necessarily dislike it. It's very neutral. It's almost like the definition of neutral. It's the definition of bland. What people would call food bland. That's exactly what this is. It's just bland. But the energy I get from it is what keeps me coming back to it. And the fact that it's improved my health. Why does raw milk get out of date so fast? I got raw milk and it says used within 4 days. That's ridiculous. It'll last like 2 weeks if you keep it in a jar. Just keep it sealed up in a jar with the milk all the way to the top. It'll last 2 weeks. Before it starts to turn. It never goes bad. But it'll start to turn, you know, into cheese or kefir or clabber up. Brandon Johnson, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. Long time no see. Yeah, Andrew Kaufman's good. Dr. Tom Cowan's a good guy on terrain theory as well. Am I pro parasites? I think I just stay neutral on that as well. Like, it's just they're just a symbiotic part of life. You know what I mean? I'm definitely not against them because I'm not against life. I'm not scared of them. They're here for a reason, and they're not telling us, like, scientists aren't telling us exactly why they're here, that's for sure. They only exist inside of, like, malnourished bodies and systems. So if you're a healthy person, you don't have to worry about parasites, which is perfectly evident in all the people that I've known that have eaten raw meat for decades. Never had any problems. Sugar is known to be a drug, absolutely. Am I ready for monkeypox? Yeah, for sure. I'm all ready, bro. All ready for the next round of nonsense. Victoria says, will you notice any difference when you first started eating raw meat? I'm not really sure what exactly you're asking there. You'd have to ask a more specific question. Difference in what? Nero says, why do humans have the ability to taste complex flavors? I can't figure it out. It seems like a trap. Well, I mean, you can always enjoy things. There's flavors that you can enjoy, but it's a matter of not taking it too far and, like, looking for that in every single time you eat. Looking for all these flavors and sugars and salts and stuff. But it's probably, I mean, it's our built-in mechanism, survival mechanism, to be able to tell what's edible and what's not edible. Flavors are, like, technically just like compounds, like chemical compounds in the foods and in the plants and things like that. So we're able to detect all these different chemical and discern what they are, all these chemicals in the foods, because we want to be able to know what's poison and what's not poison. That's the most basic explanation. And since there's such a variety of chemical compounds in foods, you got to be able to detect all of them. Joaquin Texera, what's up, buddy? Yeah, sugar, I think sugar actually impacts the, almost like the dopamine reward system, like cocaine. Milk actually impacts your opioid system. Patrick says, can you compare raw meat with some other food for me? No, you can't. Raw meat's its own thing, dude. You can't compare it with anything else in the world, man. There's only one raw meat. What does raw meat taste like? Not much. Not a whole lot, man. I have a hard time describing flavors. Most of it tastes exactly like what you would think it would taste like. Louis Pasteur was a fraud financed by the big banksters. For sure. Yeah, fraud. He was a fraud that lied about a bunch of his research. He made a bunch of papers fraudulently. He was a total fraud. What I think about honey, how much per day? I would say as much as you want, dude. Like, now that I'm adapted to this diet, I'm like fat adapted. I eat hardly any carbs per day. I'm like less than, if I have no honey, I'm like less than like 20 grams of carbs a day, just like with a piece of fruit, you know? So my body has become very sensitive to like sugars and insulins and things like that. So it can handle it much better, basically. I don't know if sensitive is the right word, but basically my body can handle like sugars and honey and fruit like very well. So I can make like a half gallon of lemonade. I can drink like a gallon of lemonade in one day, and I don't notice like any problems. Like I've literally been doing that for the past week. I've drank like almost a gallon of lemonade with honey in it, with a bunch of honey in it. And as you guys can see, like I don't look like I'm like getting diabetes and shit. I've been doing it every day for a week, and my energy's fine. My eyes are clear. Like I don't have any issues with honey. So I would say eat as much as you want, because from my experiences, it doesn't affect you the same way. Hey Wes, have you noticed any difference in your energy health from eating fresh beef instead of frozen? Hey, good question. Yeah, so it's really hard to tell, but I do think there is a difference. I've been eating fresh for the past over 2 weeks, every single day. I've been eating fresh, and I think I look really healthy, and I feel really freaking healthy right now. But it's really hard to figure out sometimes what exactly is causing what, because there's always like multiple things going on in my life, right? For one, the sun just came out for the summertime, so I've been getting a lot more sunshine, which is definitely going to impact my energy and the way I look and think and feel and everything. And also, I've been doing a lot of like push-ups, so that's been like boosting my testosterone and getting me in shape. So it's definitely the combination of sunshine, doing more working out, and eating fresh food. But I suspect that fresh food definitely has something to do with it. Because I also seem to be like putting on muscle really easily lately. So it's really hard to say. I can't prove it. But I suspect the fresh food is giving me like a little bit of an extra advantage. It's my suspicion. I can't prove it though. It honestly could just be the sunshine, and it could be just the fact that I'm working out more. So I wish I had a more clear answer for you, but it's just really hard to do like a study on something like that, you know? Because the differences in your health are so subtle, especially when, you know, I feel like I'm already at like 90 to 95%, almost like peak health. When you're talking about ramping up your health from 93% to 96%, it's like you got to really pay attention to what's going on. But for the most part, I feel great on frozen, but I feel like really, really good the last couple weeks on fresh. So I'm definitely, I would suggest everybody like try your best to always get fresh meat. But if you can't, frozen is perfectly fine. You guys have seen me over the last few years, and I eat like primarily frozen food, so my health is great. But I think there's something too fresh. Victoria said, just any difference at all with your body? When I first started eating a lot more meat in general, I noticed that like I put on a lot more muscle on my upper body. It just kind of stayed there without me having to lift weights or anything. But yeah, I've had major transformations in my health over the last 4 years from eating raw meat. A lot of it was like mental and psychological. Mental clarity, brain fog cleared up. Like physically, I was always in pretty good shape physically, but like my diet was really bringing me down like mentally and psychologically and emotionally. So with this diet, basically, it just stabilized my mood entirely. Like I have absolutely no mood swings at all. Like I never get mad at all. It's very, 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 very rare that I'll even get like a little bit like frustrated. My temperament is just completely moderated. My mental clarity is really on point. Things like that are like what I kind of value the most. Jay says, do you know any cure for asthma or cure of allergy? Well, I would ask you, are you on this diet? Do you have asthma and you're on the raw meat diet? Because a lot of times it can be from like grains. I know people have success with grains, but asthma can also be caused by vaccination. Do you ever eat lamb? I've had lamb a couple times, for sure. Fresh. It's got more flavor than beef. I don't know if I like it better than beef, but I did not mind it at all. Johnny says it's so hard to get grass-fed meat and liver and bone marrow. It's the biggest struggle for me to buy. I mean, if you got the money, dude, just buy it from like North Star Bison, you know, online. It's gonna come frozen, but at least it's grass-fed. But there's lots of places online that have grass-fed meat, dude. But, you know, that's extra money, dude. You gotta pay for shipping and all that. But locally, try to look on eatwild.com. There's places everywhere. What's up, Colin? Hey, Wes. Hope you're doing well. Haven't watched in a while. Any diet changes in the last couple months? Not really. I mean, besides the fact that I finally got some fresh, never frozen, grass-fed beef. So I've been eating that for about 3 weeks. No real changes, man. I'm still kind of doing the same thing I've always been doing. I've pretty much hit a sweet spot where I'm able to get into a zone where I can fluctuate my diet and roll with that. But I'm basically just doing like meat and butter, and I'll do like 1 fruit per day, which is an orange Nero, to answer your question. It's probably my favorite fruit, man. Love oranges. I'll do 1 fruit per day, and then I'll do milk off and on. Like I'll get some raw milk and I'll drink it for like a month or 2, and then I'll quit it for a month or 2, and then I'll go back to it. I don't know why I do that, but it just seems like that's what my body wants. I feel really good on milk, and I also feel really good off of milk. So I think if there's benefits to both of it. But I tend to lean up a little bit when I get off of milk, which I like. So it's almost like I'm doing like a binging and purging cycle, you know, where I put on a bunch of weight with milk and cream, and then I kind of purge it off, and then I go back, put on some more weight. I think that's natural. What are my thoughts on eating frozen raw meat? Oh, like I said, I've done it for the last few years, and if it's all you can get, it's perfectly fine, but it's not ideal. You want to get fresh for sure. It seems like fresh gives me a better energy. It tastes a little better. It seems to digest possibly a little bit better in the sense that it gives me like a more rapid energy. Johnny says, would potato-fed pig's liver still be good for me? Or grain corn-fed eggs? Yeah, as long as it's organic. Crazy8 says, how long do you plan on living? 150 years? It might be a little too late for that, dude. I started this diet when I was like 35, so I got like 35 years of completely damaging my body and multiple vaccinations and all sorts of shit. Drugs, alcohol, all sorts of toxic shit in my body. But 150 might be pushing it, but you never know. I'm also a big dude. I'm a tall dude, and tall dudes tend to statistically not live as long as other people. So I'd honestly be happy with living to 90 or 100. But it's really not about how long you live. It's about like the quality, to be honest with you. Nero says, would you recommend rice over fruit as a source of carbs for bodybuilding? Raw honey alone is hard. Yeah, I mean, the more carbs you get in, the kind of the bigger you're going to get. You want to basically get like as fat as you can. If you want to bodybuild and put on muscle, you want to just get as big and heavy as you can, and then bulk up and then cut down and lean down if you need to later. I would say rice or potatoes over fruit would be better for bodybuilding for sure. Have you thought about getting a farm? I know it's very expensive. Yeah, I mean it's very expensive, man. It's also a lot of work. So I'm just working on right now starting to set my eyes on like developing a family first, and then I'll worry about like land and a farm and things after that, you know. Plus the market is super messed up right now. Do I still feel sleepy during the day? Sometimes in the afternoon, like on my days off, I'll take a little nap, which I think is pretty normal. You guys ready for brains and eyes? But when I'm working, it's pretty rare that I get sleepy, man. I wake up at like 6 a.m. I work till about 4:30. So I can work all day long. I can work like 10 hours on my feet. And I'm like never tired after work. Obviously I want to sit down and like relax, but my energy's insane on this diet, man. Eric Hayes says you've been inspiring me for a while trying to go hunt deer and eat a bloody heart in the woods. Yeah, just make sure it's not a Midwestern GMO glyphosate deer. I ate some deer, some local deer from around here, dude, and I actually got sick. I need to make a video on it because it's like very important. But I think I got sick because these deer roam crops sprayed with glyphosate. This animal was alive like an hour ago. So you still drink water or not, like Alexander Wonderplant said? Alexander Wonderplants, he didn't say neither drink water or not drink water. He just gave recommendations on, he said basically like don't drink a lot of water. But he drank like a cup or two of water a day himself. And I'll drink like 8 ounces a day. This brain is so fresh, man. Andrew says if you're sick, you need fresh. Yeah, if you're sick, you need the best you can get, man. If you're sick, you should probably be doing fresh meat and vegetable juices and all that good stuff. You live to 200 years. That would be nuts. What if I lived forever? Jaron Van Zanan, do you ever eat suet? I don't really like suet, man. It's like the only raw food I don't like. It was too dry. I had a really hard time getting it down, man. Maybe if it was like fresh off a kill. But I couldn't do like previously frozen suet. I could not eat that shit, man. I prefer just straight up fat over the kidney fat suet. Johnny says my family has a farm. Cows eat grass only, but they are kept inside all the time. Chickens are free range but fed with corn, grain, and grass that summer. Really trying to convince them to change food. Yeah, if anything, just can change over to organic. There's nothing wrong with a little bit of supplement, but organic is the key. Do I think eating some bread is still bad? I don't think it's neither good or bad. I just don't see a point in it. I've tried bread a couple times on this diet, and it's just almost like eating candy. It's just like so much sugar. And like if I'm eating like white bread, it's just like sugar. And if I eat like I don't know, like an heirloom wheat bread, like I did from Amos Miller's Farm, I didn't even like that bread. I don't know, man. I just don't think I'm a bread guy. I'm not really a rice guy either. I'm just like a potato dude. If I'm gonna do some starches or whatever. But it doesn't really bring much nutritionally, man, and it's more of just like a supplement for like you can't get the nutrients in this that you can't get the nutrients in bread that you're getting in like something like brain or like beef, you know? It's like almost just a waste of time in my opinion. Eric K says, now the deer here in Pennsylvania are truly wild, eating the fruits and plants of the woods. Good, dude. Good, man. Because I don't think the deer in the Midwest is like good deer to be hunting. I was kind of bummed out, too, because it was the only time I've ever been sick off of raw food in my life, dude. And I got sick twice off of it. 2 times in a row, because I had to try it again to see if it was like a fluke. And I got legit, straight up fucking food poisoning off of raw wild venison, of all things. It just blew my mind, dude. That's the only thing I can come up with, is it was tainted with chemicals from the crops or something. So beware about that, Midwest hunters. Brian says, did you harvest the animal yourself? Was alive an hour ago? Yeah, dude, I went to the live meat market, and they had just slaughtered this animal. The brain was warm when I cut it out. Is it okay to eat not... It's my dogs, everybody. Okay. Alright, guys. Come here, guys. Come say hi. Is it okay to eat not fresh meat from the fridge? Yeah. It doesn't have to be like the same day or anything like that. I've had meat in my fridge for a week or two. If it's vacuum sealed, it'll stay good for 2-3 weeks. What are you howling about over there, buddy? Huh? What's the big deal, dude? What's the big deal, buddy? Nero, have you tried making and drinking fruit juice, like squeezing orange juice? I squeezed fresh pineapple juice. It was so fresh and tasty. Oh, dude, yeah, I've had freshly squeezed orange juice. It's unbelievable, man. Unbelievably tasty. It's amazing once you eat like freshly squeezed fruits like that. You're like, dude, this is what juice is supposed to taste like. Not this like store-bought, plastic bottled, pasteurized shit, man. Freshly squeezed fruit, unbelievable. That's why I love this lemonade so much, because these lemons are all fresh squeezed. I'll squeeze the lemons, drink it, and I'll drink it within like, 6 to 8 hours. Sith says, I wonder if wild boars are good to eat raw. Sounds good. Origami Swan says, how can we find a girl that will share this diet with us? Start a channel, dude. Just start a channel, man, and start eating some raw meat. And as long as you don't look like a complete gremlin, women will contact you for sure. Like, I've had my fair share of contact with women through my channel over the past few years. And, I mean, I'm hoping that eventually it's going to land me a wife. Because I don't know how else I'm going to find a girl that will share the same values as this, This is a good way to do it, man. But you have to legit, like, put yourself out there, dude. Like, you're not going to find a girl that's going to share this diet and all the other things that go along with it. Usually people that share this diet, they're going to be also, like, anti-medical system and things like that, which is very important if you're going to start a family and raise children. So, starting out with this diet as your sort of net that you're casting out there to get women is a very good way to do it, in my experiences. Because if women are on board with eating shit like this, then they're going to be on board with, they're going to be like completely red pilled on everything else. So you can just like check the box here. Do you like raw meat? And then every box underneath is always already checked. But you have to put yourself out there, man. You got to start making videos. You got to start helping people, spreading the word, showing people your personality, showing people what kind of energy you have. and girls will be attracted to your energy. You know, they'll be attracted to your message and your energy and things like that. But you got to put yourself out there, man. You got to make yourself a person that women would want to date and be with, for one thing, you know. It's not just about eating food with people. You got to share the same values and kind of share the same positive energy and stuff like that. My dogs do eat raw meats, absolutely. Can't wait for my dreams tonight. Gonna be some good ones. Yeah, plastic, Situnet says, I'm intrigued by raw meats being sealed in plastic because plastic contains toxic chemicals. Yeah, don't worry about it too much because that's one of those things that's really hard to avoid. I mean, the grocery stores and the butchers aren't going to put it in glass for you, you know, so I would really just scratch that off. The Amish might put it in glass for you, but you got to pay for it. But we're constantly going to be exposed to toxins in our environment, and there's really nothing that we can do about that to completely avoid those things. Besides just getting on this diet and you know, eating the cleanest foods as you can possibly eat, and eating raw fat with your foods. That'll help detoxify any kind of toxins. One thing's for sure, if you're wrapping your meat in plastic, you're better off eating it raw, eating the plastics raw with raw fat, so it'll detox out your body rather than cooking the plastic on the food and then eating it that way. Jay Villani says, what is your view on colds, flu, and eating a raw diet and natural detoxification process? Oh, for sure. Yep. I had a really bad flu like a couple months ago, man. I had to take a whole week off of work. I got completely wrecked by this flu, man. It was the first time I had a flu in like a couple years. Like probably 3 years. Something like that. It was a surprising one, but it came. But yeah, it happens, man. You definitely don't get as sick as often on this diet once you're like a few years into it. Like I haven't had a cold. Like a cold in like 4 years, 5 years. I just get like flus now. But like I said, I just had one for the first time in 3 years, like a couple months ago. And then I had like a couple really bad flus my first year. But before I got on this diet, I felt like I was sick all the time. Like I constantly had colds and was feeling run down. Yeah, it's chicken or the egg, man. He says this diet makes you anti-system. It's really chicken or the egg, dude. I mean, is it the fact that you're anti-system and that's how you found this diet first, you know? It's really interesting. DX says Faria seems to do alright with women through his channel, haha. Yeah, dude, I'm telling you guys, there is like no shortage of women out there, beautiful women, might I add, that are into like raw meat and guys that eat raw meat. So, if you want to find a wife that way, you have to start your own channel. And just start putting some good content out there and talking with people and meeting people, and it'll go from there, man. If God wills it, he will bring you a wife. AJ says, do you plan on eating raw rabbit? Yeah, when I get some land, I want to have like an actual rabbit farm. Because I want to feed my dogs rabbit. And then eat some rabbit myself. Ready for some eyeballs, y'all? This is a fresh one too. This eyeball was just operational about an hour ago. It's a big one. This is my violin. Mmm. So good. Mmm. I almost gagged on that one. Don't ask me why I've eaten a million eyeballs. Sometimes a certain piece of the food or texture hits like a certain part of your throat that it shouldn't, and it makes you want to gag. Or a certain flavor hits like a really potent taste bud. Here's the other one. The other guy. Not quite good enough. Need to get in there a little bit more. The water inside, that fluid tastes really good. It's black though. Isn't that weird? Like the inside of the eyeball is black. Got raw eyeballs in my beard. Brains and eyes in my beard. Joe Dub says, we don't catch colds, we create them. Absolutely. Origami Swan says, getting a flu is a wonderful thing, according to Ojis. Yeah, he said that, like, viruses, getting a flu was like, he would, like, pray for a flu, right? Over a cold? I can't remember how he would... Did he say he wanted a cold over a flu, or a flu over a cold? Probably a flu over a cold, right? But yeah, we don't catch colds, says Joe Dubs. We create them, absolutely. We make them out of our own bodies. Stampy7 says, looks great. Will you ever make content with Derek? Very possible this summer. It's very possible I'm going to do a video with Derek. So stay tuned for that. We're still trying to line everything up. He's got a bunch of shit going on in his world, but we're trying to line something up for July. I'm going to go down there to Kentucky and we're going to do some videos. Do I play an instrument? I can play a little bit of keyboard, and I've played saxophone for a couple years. I used to produce a bunch of music on my computer. Why do you get sick on this diet? I thought you got healthy, or is it just detox? Yeah, it's basically detox. Like, we're still like, even if you're on this a you're still introducing toxins like back into your body through the air, through your water, through, you know, unless you live inside of like a freaking sterilized glass dome, you're always going to be detoxing chemicals in and out of your body and stuff, you know. So you're going to be detoxing on this diet for sure. Desmomoto says, raw meat has made me challenge-oriented, not a pleasure addict that I was. For sure, same here, man. It's really made me want to be like as disciplined as possible. It's a good thing there's not like a monk monastery near me, because there's like a good chance I would like just become like a monk, dude. I'm like into discipline on that to like a psychotic level, you know. Do I put vinegar on raw meat? I don't. Mm-mm. Eyes are good for your eyesight, absolutely. You are what you eat, man. Is it possible to get rid of psoriasis from eating raw meat? I just started a few days ago. Any advice? Oh, for sure. Like if you go to like a raw carnivore diet, for sure you'll get rid of psoriasis. You know, because the raw meat, the raw primal diet will help bring raw collagen to your skin as well to help you repair your skin. And whatever foods that are causing your psoriasis will be eliminated. So yeah, this diet cures like almost everything. I don't really talk about it that much because like I didn't have any like officially diagnosed diseases, but I have talked about the shit that I dealt with. But yeah, the reason I do this is because I know this diet is like it's the one that can cure or prevent a lot of this shit that people are having going on right now, like psychological issues, mental issues, skin problems, energy issues, chronic fatigue, stuff like that. There's no way that can happen on this diet. DX. So I really liked your live stream with Primal Paris. I listened to some of his music years ago. I didn't know he was into raw meat. Made me like him even more. Yeah, he's a cool dude, man. He's a cool guy. I didn't even know he did music before I did that live stream with him at all. He asked me to do like a collaboration with him like 6 months before I did that live stream, and I just got busy and forgot. And then I reached out to him finally. I felt bad. I was like, dude, we got to do that collaboration. So we did it. And I think he mentioned he did music, and so I looked up his music afterwards, and I was like, shit, this guy's like toured with some pretty big names. He's a good dude, man. He's a nice, chill dude. Sithunet says, have you thought about making a video with Tom Cowan on the raw diet? Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you would want to do a video with me. People were like telling me all the time I need to get on Joe Rogan too. I was like, there's no fucking way Joe Rogan would have me on his on his show. He's not ready for this shit, dude. I know like more than Joe Rogan. I possibly know more than Joe Rogan about life itself. So to have me on there would be almost embarrassing for him. But I would be open to it if you wanted to open up the door for that conversation. And Tom Cowan, same way. Tom Cowan, I don't think he's really into the raw shit as much as me. Like, he's really into like vegetables and shit. Like there may be something to that I don't know about. Like he's all into like all the microbiome and stuff all over all these different varieties of vegetables. That's supposed to be good for your own gut biome. So he grows all these like super weird vegetables that you've never even heard of, and he's really into that shit. And he's into like herbs and stuff. So he's kind of on that different thing, which I'm open to that. I'm open to like herbal medicines and things like that, but like, why? You know, like why would I need medicine? I'm in like literally the prime of my life, and I'm eating raw meat and never felt better. Like I don't need medicines. That's why I quit cannabis and drugs and things like that. Like I don't need that shit. But I'm open to it in the future, if I get old and I feel like somehow trying to optimize my health a little bit better with like herbs or something. There may be something to that. And also mushrooms. I'm a big fan of mushrooms, man. I think mushrooms are absolutely 100% medicine. Like, they're some of the most amazing things on earth. So I'm open to all that stuff, and I'm continuously like researching all of it, but I don't really feel a need to put it in my life yet. Nero says, is there toxins in synthetic testosterone and steroids? I want to hop on 500 milligrams of test eventually. I don't know about toxins, but I think it can anytime you're like intervening on your own natural bodily processes, like you're going to potentially downregulate your own capabilities to produce that stuff. So I would be careful about that. Steroids definitely like shrink your balls too. Jay says, how do you get access to non-frozen organs? I go to a grass-fed butcher, but they only get their organs pre-frozen. They also only sell liver and kidney without any organs. You gotta try to find a farmer and then buy a beef quarter. And when you get it processed, make a special deal with the processing facility that you don't want it frozen. It can be very hard to do, man. Sometimes they resist it, but you gotta have your farmer fight for you. And they will do it. Yeah, my kids will love eating raw meat for sure. I already know some kids that eat raw meat because of my channel, and they're like the happiest kids ever, and they love my channel. Origami Swan says the main struggle is when you see people you care about eating wrong food, and it's extremely hard to convince them into considering this new lifestyle. Yeah, don't try to convince people, dude. You're not going to change people's minds. You just got to be a living example. That's the best thing you can do. That's the best way to get back at people that also don't believe you, you know? Be like, okay, then watch this. And then just become like the healthiest possible person you could possibly be. And completely reverse aging on yourself. And then in 10 years, they're going to be like, you know, they're going to have to believe you. Would I eat raw meat with sourdough bread? If it was baked for me and given to me as a gift or something, yeah. But I'm not going to go out of my way to make bread. That's just like way too much work. Raw brain, what about mad cow? I don't know. What about it? I guess I'm not too worried about it. Sit the net says if you have writing skills, you could one day write a book. Yeah, I can definitely write, dude. I can write. Yeah, I got to give it some more time, though. I'm not even 4 years into this. I can't be the guy that's like, hey, guys, I've eaten raw meat for 3 years. I am the master. Listen to me. Like, a book will be somewhere, like, 5 to 10 years down the road. You know? 5 to 10 years on raw meat. Because I'm still learning, man. That's the thing. I'm still evolving and learning and, like, growing as a person. So I'd hate to write a book and then all of a sudden, 3 years later, I, like, don't necessarily believe what I wrote in that same book, you know? So I want to wait until I'm like completely transformed. I'm still in my metamorphosis. What's up, Matthew's Mind? Food Fasting Faith. Hey, do you know where I can buy We Want to Live a physical copy? Good luck, man. It's out of print and all of them are really expensive. So, got to look online. Opinion on psilocybin mushrooms? I think they're amazing, dude. I've always talked very positively about them. Like they're very, very interesting little guys. Matthew's Mind says I've had teachers mad at me for eating raw meat at school and having words with my parents. Good for you, dude. Keep it up. Should always go raw when possible. Yeah, screw those teachers, dude. Screw those guys. I gotta watch my language because there's literally like toddlers watch my stream. No joke, guys. Little raw meat eating toddlers. But yeah, eat some more raw meat at school. Eat it right in front of their face. V-Baltic says prions, aka mad cow, can't be destroyed by cooking meat, and the prions are on the meat as much as in the organs. Yeah, I don't know about prions and all that stuff, dude. Sithunet says prions don't exist. Yeah, I would probably go with that one over anything. Because the way that the level that they lie to us about bacteria and viruses and parasites, it's like they're probably lying to us about prions as well. Wait, what the hell's a prion? A folded protein or something stupid? Like, who cares? Yeah, I think all that stuff, like all those weird diseases you get from food are from like mistreating the animals and like giving them the wrong foods and things like that. think mad cow might have come from either like chemicals in the food or feeding them carrion. Like they would feed cows like a ground up meat. Thoughts on the 19th Amendment? I don't know what that is. 19th Amendment. Oh, the 19th Amendment. Yeah. I don't know about that one, dude. I'm not sure about that one. I don't know if that was the best move. Matthew's Mind says, I buy organic pasture-raised eggs. I would eat them raw, just a little nervous because I have heard chickens are being kept indoors at the moment, but not beef organs. I'll have raw. Cool. Great Glagus says, hi West, thoughts on DMT? Well, dimethyltryptamine. Tryptamines are cool, man. I don't know about using DMT. I don't know how natural that is to be smoking concentrated crystals in a glass pipe like that. But I do know that psilocybin mushrooms have DMT in the actual chemical structure of psilocybin. So it's like something and dash DMT. So you can access essentially the same world through eating like a natural substance like mushrooms instead of like smoking crystals. But that's just my opinion on it. I've never actually like used DMT, like isolated DMT or anything like that. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's good. How could DMT be bad or good? It's like a natural thing found in things. But I would say just be careful how you use it. Don't abuse it. And probably I would suggest staying away from the concentrated forms and just, if you want to get into that realm, eat like 7 grams of mushrooms and turn all your lights off. You'll get there. Andrew says, do you know who Stephen C. Meyer is? Smart man on how evolution is a lie. I have not heard of that guy. But of course evolution is a lie, for sure. Sycophantic, how much meat would you eat a day, 1 or 2 pounds? Right now I'm like 1.5 pounds. Sithunat Sith, I think mad cow comes from cows eating grains made with cow meat infested with pesticides. Yeah, basically. Yeah, that's what I was saying, essentially. It's some kind of mix between pesticides and carrion. Like they were feeding cows like actual like meat, you know? Sithunet says, I know a guy who uses DMT to reach the spiritual world. The pineal gland is the connection to God. Druids did use mushrooms to get into a trance-like state. Oh yeah, it's all very interesting stuff, man. It's been used for thousands of years. It was potentially the catalyst and influence for all religion and art, and possibly music as well. But definitely like religion and art were all influenced by these trances or, you know, mystical experiences or whatever. But yeah, I don't have any experience with like DMT because I've had my own mind-blowing experiences with just mushrooms. So I think that's really all you need. Same world, just different avenues to get there. Origami Swan says, though I exercise once every week, I'm finding it very difficult to gain weight and get some good deal of muscles. Do you have any suggestions? I'm guessing you're a young dude. I'm guessing you're between like 18 and 23? 18 and 22? Tell me how old you are first. Connor says, not really informational on the raw brain. LOL, thanks. Yeah, it's really just, I mean, you gotta just use your intuition when it comes to this stuff. Like, if you believe in God or a creator or something that created this universe, like, why would he make raw brains give you, like, diseases? You know? Why would he do that? He wouldn't do that. This is all man-made stuff. All diseases and things like that are all man-made. It's all through industrial pollution and chemical toxicity. So once you take that factor out, once you take out the factor of people destroying the food supply and destroying what they're feeding the animals, then you get rid of all these weird diseases. Origami Swan says I'm 25, yeah. Yeah, I mean, when you're younger, dude, it's harder to put on weight. But a lot of times, sometimes that can be genetics too. It's hard to say. But you gotta just eat a lot of meat. If you want to put on muscle, you just eat tons of meat, dude. Like, you'll eventually bulk up. But you'll also have a lot better time, or a lot easier time putting on weight as you get older. I wasn't able to really put on a bunch of muscle and stuff like that until I was like about 24, 25. I was always like really lean. So just give it some time, eat lots of meat and fat, and you'll eventually bulk up for sure. Well, it's a beautiful day out there, guys, and I'm going to probably end this here in a couple minutes. I got some sunshine to catch out there. As much as I'd love to sit here and talk some more. Andrew says, why is abortion and white replacement seem to be the biggest threats to America or getting so much traction right now? There seems to be something big happening. I don't know, man. It's hard to say. It's hard to figure out what's going on behind the scenes. I think there's something good happening is what's happening. A lot of people look and see what's happening in the news as evil or doom and gloom, but I think that something good is happening eventually. You know, this is all building up to something great. Alright, guys, I'm gonna roll out. It's too beautiful outside. Gotta get some sunshine. Go outside, guys. Put your feet in the ground. Take your shoes off. Go ground yourself. Take your shirt off. Get some sunshine. Fresh air. Appreciate y'all showing up.